The whole class.
I won't record. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, the cross sections are perpendicular to the x-axis, are equilateral triangles. So again, as you work through this, most of them are repeated answers and problems. So equilateral triangles, that base and height are going to come from that 30, 60, 90. So your base is still going to be that 2 square roots of 4 minus x squared. So that doesn't change. And then your height is always going to be half of that times root 3. So it's going to be root 3 over 2 times the base. And again, kind of nice, your 2's cancel out. So volume, 1/2, negative 2 to 2, base, height, so I got that 2 and the root 3, so they're constants, so they can come out in front. So my 2's can cancel. A square root times a square root becomes a whole. Once again, I have that negative 2 to 2 of 4 minus x squared dx, which is 32/3. So I have my root 3, so I'm 32/3. And there's my answer. Part D, what happens if the cross sections are perpendicular to the x-axis are now isosceles instead of equilateral? Now we look at the case that I was showing you before, where instead of 30, 60, 90s, we now have 45, 45, 90s. So if half of the base is x, then that also means that the height is x. Because in isosceles triangles, base and heights are the same. But remember that the height is half of that original base. So then this height would become 2 square roots of 4 minus x squared over 2. So if the whole base is this, then the height is half of that essentially. So a triangle is 1/2 base times height So you have the square root and the square root. Your 2 comes out. It's going to cancel with that half. And this one's just going to be equal to 32/3. And for part E, or actually, it's not terrible, but this one says the cross sections are perpendicular to the x-axis, are isosceles right triangles with a leg residing along the base. So now, here's the top of your circle, here's the bottom. So this represents a leg of the 45, 45, 90. Here, well, that's not a very good isosceles triangle, but what that means then is the base, which is a leg of a 45, 45, 90, is still this 2 square roots of 4 minus x squared, but the height, because it's equal to the length of the base, is also now going to be the 2 square roots of 4 minus x squared. Because that's a leg, and that's a leg. So your height is still going to end up being now the length of the leg. So your volume is half negative 2 to 2, where your base and your height are the same. So you have 2 2's now. So your volume is just going to get bigger because only one of the 1/2 and 2's cancel. So you have 2 times that 32/3. So we're going to end there. I'm going to have you guys for homework do the next page in that packet. So that's example number 1 that I kind of drew out and went through. And then you're going to go to your textbook. And in the textbook, we are on page 400 and like 5 or 6, I believe. Pulling up my notes for what your homework will be. Oh, good, I didn't type it in there. Let me open your book. Okay, we're 6. And we're going to do numbers 1 to 10 only. So 1 to 10 in your book, and then this example. So the ones in your book aren't that bad. They're very similar to what we are doing. Only the first two have you do multiple parts like we did. And they give you a lot more information to start. So to be honest, I would actually probably start with the textbook, page 406, numbers 1 to 10, and then do this one last. All right, guys, that is your last calc lesson of the year. Have a great day.